Let's unpack all of this now with Northeast Asia analyst Leonid Petrov. He's a senior lecturer at the Australian National University and he joins us now from Sydney in Australia. Really good to have you back with us, Leonid. There really is a lot happening in the region right now. Can I start with Nancy Pelosi's recent visit to Taiwan? There has been quite a forceful response from Beijing. Do you think China really is gearing up for something a bit more forceful in terms of Taiwan? A lot of people are worried about an imminent invasion.
Well, it's an interesting question because Taiwan has always been an important trigger for Beijing politics since 1945, when the Kuomintang sort of evacuated from mainland China and established itself as a Republic of China in Taiwan. It always been the vis-a-vis of People's Republic of China. It was used as the base for the US troops during the Cold War until 1970s, when the US switched to Beijing. And also the regional dynamics also changed with the collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 90s and the cross-recognition of People's Republic of China, of Republic of Korea, South Korea. So we saw this chessboard of Cold War big game blurring for the time being. In the last 25, 30 years, it did not look particularly dangerous until we saw the resurrection of imperialist and militarist sentiments in Putin's Russia, Xi Jinping's China, and of course the role of South Korea and Taiwan started growing much more significant, and the US is trying to capitalize its presence in the region. What we saw as the rollback of US influence in Northeast Asia looks like it with the Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan as like a return of the US into the picture. And South Korea played a very important role previously, but something seems to have changed recently, and Nancy Pelosi's trip to South Korea also demonstrated that.
That's right, and there's also been a decline in the influence of the United States in the South Pacific, closer to where you are. We know that China's forging closer ties with some Pacific island nations, particularly Solomon Islands, which has countries like the United States and Australia worried. Should those countries be worried about a more assertive Chinese presence in that region?
We have to remember that China did not wage any wars, well, probably since outside of its borders since 1979, and it was a war against Vietnam. And it didn't go well for China. We remember that after a few months, Chinese troops had to roll back, and the Vietnamese force claimed victory. Since then, China hasn't been militarily practicing, well, with probably the exception of some military drills in South China Sea, and now these days in Yellow Sea near the Korean Peninsula. But China does not have many military bases, except for Djibouti, perhaps. Unlike Russia or the United States, China does not look like a significant military power. But Taiwan is just nearby, and Solomon Islands perhaps would have provided China with a military base, but even Solomon Islands deny that. So it looks like China is going to be contained by the neighbors east, south, and west. We know that clashes with Indian troops project China as a particularly peaceful nation. But again, China is very mindful of its economic image, and waging a war against neighbors elsewhere, near or far, would end badly with Chinese export-oriented economy, and I don't think it will. It will also be a strong impact on Xi Jinping's prospects of being re-elected. We know that the 20th Communist Party Congress is scheduled for October, so China will try to be as cautious and precarious as possible before and during that time.
Okay, Leonid Petrov from the Australian National University. Always good to get your analysis. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Oscar, for inviting me.